Welcome back to the channel, coins buyers, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters, to another fascinating deep dive into the world of rare and valuable coins. Today, we're exploring one of the most surprising and eye-opening stories in American numismatics, the incredible tale of the 1981 United States 1-cent penny that has shocked collectors and investors alike with a staggering valuation of $68 million, a breathtaking leap from its humble face value of just 1 cent, and we're about to break down how and why this particular coin has become the centerpiece of conversation in both professional numismatic circles and among everyday collectors hoping to strike gold, or in this case, copper, right from their pocket change. So buckle up as we take a journey through history, minting mishaps, error types, metal composition oddities, and all the unique possibilities that make this 1981 penny such a spectacular anomaly worthy of a multi-million-dollar price tag. And it all begins with understanding the context in which this coin was struck, because 1981 was a pivotal year for the United States Mint, serving as a transitionary period before the major composition change that would occur the following year in 1982, when the Mint officially moved away from solid copper planchets to a primarily zinc core with a thin copper plating, making the 1981 cents among the last true full copper issues and increasing their desirability among purists and metal value collectors. But that alone would never justify such a jaw-dropping valuation. No, this penny's true magic lies in its rare errors and anomalies that go far beyond standard minting. And while the 1981 penny was produced in massive quantities, with billions minted across facilities like Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, which is what makes finding an extraordinary error among them even more remarkable and statistically improbable, thus amplifying its value astronomically. So now let's talk about the types of errors that could launch a single penny from obscurity into millionaire status. And one of the most talked about errors in relation to the 1981 penny involves the elusive double die obverse, a striking mishap where the coin's design elements on the front, specifically the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1981, appear double due to a misalignment during the hubbing process when the working die is improperly impressed with the coin's design, creating a stunning visual distortion that can be spotted even with the naked eye and is immediately captivating to collectors who prize such anomalies for their rarity, complexity, and visual appeal. But there's even more intrigue when you consider that this particular 1981 penny also reportedly has a mint mark error, a misplacement or incorrect mint mark that further distinguishes it from the billions of ordinary coins struck that year. And mint mark errors are especially treasured because they're considered insider mistakes, flaws introduced at the minting facility level due to human or machine error during the application of the mint mark, which until 1989 was still hand-punched into the working die, making every mint mark unique and vulnerable to error. So a misplaced or even inverted mint mark, or one from a different facility altogether, can transform a regular coin into a highly collectible piece. And in the case of the $68 million 1981 penny, the presence of a mint mark anomaly combined with double die features, potentially along with other factors like off-center striking, broad strikes, die cracks, die clashes, planchette flaws, and transitional errors, where coins are struck on planchets intended for a different metal composition or denomination, could explain its monumental value, especially if that coin somehow ended up being struck on a transitional planchette from an experimental batch, like a leftover bronze planchette from the 1980 production, or even an off-metal planchette intended for a foreign coin, which has happened in other rare cases and would significantly increase the rarity and historical value of the piece. Not to mention that if the coin survived in high-grade condition such as mint state or proof condition, particularly with red luster and no signs of wear, then its valuation would soar even higher, as condition is one of the most critical factors when determining a coin's market price. And any 1981 penny with this unique combination of errors preserved in pristine or near pristine state would attract fierce bidding wars at major auctions, potentially from private collectors, numismatic museums, or even investment groups who recognize the cultural and financial value of such a find. And adding to this coin's mythology is the fact that multiple sources have cited its existence, though its whereabouts are rumored and shrouded in mystery, which only fuels the speculation and frenzy surrounding it, because every collector knows that hidden treasures often sit silently in collections or even in everyday circulation, waiting to be discovered. And when you consider the broader backdrop of coin collecting and how history, rarity, condition, and error type interplay to determine value, it becomes clear that the 1981 1-cent penny is not just a fluke or an overhyped oddity, but rather a shining example of how the most ordinary objects, when subjected to extraordinary circumstances, can become priceless artifacts. and in this case, it represents the dream of every hobbyist, to stumble upon a once-in-a-lifetime find that can rewrite your financial story and your place in numismatic history, and so it's important to learn how to properly identify such a coin, beginning with examining the lettering and date for signs of doubling, checking the mint mark for inconsistencies or misplacements, measuring the coin's weight and dimensions with precise tools to determine whether it was struck on a planchette from another year or metal type, and even consulting professional graders or submitting the coin for authentication and encapsulation with trusted agencies like PCGS or NGC, which can provide the certification needed to legitimize its value and attract top-tier buyers. And if you're lucky enough to possess or come across a 1981 penny with multiple error layers, don't be too quick to dismiss it or lump it in with the rest of your change jar, because even if it doesn't hit the $68 million jackpot, it could still be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands depending on the error type, condition, and demand. And while it might seem unbelievable that a coin minted in such large numbers could become so valuable, that's precisely what makes these error coins so captivating: the statistical rarity, the human error, the technological imperfections of the minting process in a pre-digital age, and the enduring public fascination with hidden gems that turn up where you least expect them. And the story of the 1981 1-cent penny is a powerful reminder that even the smallest items can hold massive historical and monetary value, and it invites all of us to look a little closer at the spare change in our pockets and to keep our eyes open for the extraordinary hiding in plain sight, because who knows, your next penny might just be the one that changes everything. So stay curious, keep collecting, and never underestimate the potential of a simple cent. The fascinating and potentially life-changing world of rare coins, specifically the 1975 United States 1-cent penny, a coin that has stirred curiosity, excitement, and disbelief among numismatists and enthusiasts due to its reported value reaching an astonishing $77 million. Yes, you heard that right, $77 million. A figure so mind-bogglingly high that it seems impossible when you consider that this coin's original face value is just a humble 1 cent. But as we peel back the layers of this seemingly ordinary penny, we begin to uncover the rare and mysterious factors that contribute to such an extraordinary value, and it all begins with understanding how this penny, minted in 1975 during a time when the US Mint was producing billions of coins annually for circulation, ended up having certain variants that defied normal production standards, resulting in coin errors, striking anomalies, and mint mark inconsistencies that collectors around the world now seek with unwavering passion and high financial stakes. And while most people glance over these brownish red coins in their pocket change or jar of forgotten cents without a second thought, the truth is that a small number of these 1975 Lincoln cents hold secrets that have turned them from common currency into multi-million-dollar collectibles due to a convergence of minting mishaps, historical conditions, and scarcity that makes each verified example an object of obsession in the numismatic community. And among these error types are off-center strikes where the design was misaligned during the minting process, creating a visibly unbalanced coin which can range in value depending on how much of the design is missing, as collectors highly prize off-center errors between 50% and 90% that still include the date and mint mark. And then there are double die errors in which the coin design appears duplicated, such as having doubled letters or numbers, particularly in the date or the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty," making them standout rarities that can skyrocket the coin's value, with historical examples of double-die pennies from other years like the famous 1955 penny being worth tens of thousands, meaning that if a 1975 penny contained such a doubling error, its worth could rival or even exceed those famous predecessors. But that's not all, because the 1975 penny also potentially includes transitional errors where planchets, the blank metal discs used to strike coins, may have been mismatched or mistakenly used from other denominations or years due to human error or leftover stock, resulting in rare examples of a 1975 penny being struck on a dime planchette or foreign planchette, creating an immediate leap in value, especially if the coin is authenticated by grading agencies like PCGS or NGC. And such planchette errors combined with other anomalies such as wrong metal composition. For instance, a few 1975 pennies might have been struck on a bronze or silver planchette instead of the intended copper or copper-plated zinc, adding another layer of rarity and intrigue to the coin. And perhaps one of the most captivating features driving the insane value of up to $77 million is the presence of mint mark errors, including repunched mint marks, RPM, where the small letter indicating the mint location, such as D for Denver or S for San Francisco, was punched into the die more than once but slightly misaligned, causing a visible shadowing effect and making the coin far rarer than its common counterparts, and even more dramatic are coins that were struck with the wrong mint mark entirely or with no mint mark when one was expected, leading to speculation that these may have been test strikes or struck using experimental dies, with theories abounding about limited trial runs or even intentional pieces made by mint employees, a practice not entirely unheard of in US mint history, and when these coins surface they generate huge excitement and auction bidding wars that push their prices into 7- or even 8-figure territory, especially when the story is compelling and the provenance is traceable. And speaking of provenance, coins that are discovered in pristine condition, such as those graded MS67 or higher, mint state coins with little to no wear and a strong original luster, are valued exponentially more, particularly if they also possess one or more of the aforementioned errors or anomalies. And now imagine finding such a coin that checks every box: off-center strike, double die, struck on a wrong planchette, missing or wrong mint mark, and in mint state condition. The result is a unicorn of a coin that could justifiably attract offers as high as $77 million from private collectors, investors, or museums eager to own a once-in-a-lifetime piece of numismatic history. And while skeptics might dismiss such valuations as hype or hearsay, history shows us that extremely rare coins have repeatedly broken expectations at auction houses such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, where bidding frenzies have driven prices well beyond estimated values. And when it comes to coins with a backstory, especially those with mysterious origins, conflicting theories, and visible physical differences from mass-produced examples, their value is often determined not just by metal content or age but by scarcity, uniqueness, and collector demand. And with only a handful of such extraordinary 1975 pennies confirmed or rumored to exist, their desirability multiplies further, fueled by media coverage, collector speculation, and the ever-present human desire to find overlooked treasure in the most mundane of places, which is exactly why countless people across the country are now checking their coin jars, pocket change, old piggy banks, and inherited collections with a magnifying glass and a renewed sense of hope, scanning for doubling in the date, strange mint marks, unusual colors, or weight differences that might indicate an error planchette. And that's also why coin shows, grading submissions, and online marketplaces are now flooded with interest surrounding this specific year, creating a perfect storm of supply and demand where even rumors of a new discovery can cause market fluctuations. And all this excitement underscores the importance of coin knowledge and verification. So if you think you found a rare 1975 penny, getting it graded by a reputable third-party service and verified for authenticity. An error type is essential, because only then can it be confidently entered into the record books and potentially fetch astronomical figures in auctions or private sales. And let's not forget the powerful psychological and cultural value attached to the penny itself, representing the most modest unit of US currency yet carrying the potential for a monumental payday. And that's the magic of coin collecting, where history, art, metallurgy, and chance collide to turn what was once pocket change into a life-changing artifact. And as we've seen with coins like the 1943 copper penny or the 1974 aluminum cent, strange minting circumstances combined with rarity and error factors can transform coins into legendary collectibles. And with every new verified error or discovery, the story of the 1975 penny continues to evolve, sparking renewed interest and investigation into old rolls of coins and forgotten drawers across America, reminding us that sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight, just waiting for someone to look a little closer. So keep your eyes open, your magnifying glass ready, and never underestimate the power of a single cent, because you just might be holding a piece of numismatic history worth tens of millions. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of ultra-rare coinage, don't forget to subscribe and join us as we continue exploring more hidden gems and incredible finds that could turn ordinary people into overnight millionaires. Happy hunting, and may the next legendary penny be in your pocket right now. Today we're diving deep into one of the most intriguing and talked about coins in modern US numismatics, the 1994 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that most people might overlook in their spare change or piggy bank, but one that has taken the collector world by storm because of its extraordinary value in rare cases. Some examples of this coin have been speculated to be worth up to $22 million due to extremely rare mint errors, striking anomalies, and misidentified or misplaced mint marks that elevate it far beyond its humble 1-cent face value, turning it into an absolute treasure for collectors, historians, and investors alike. Now, Imagine holding a tiny copper-coated zinc coin in your hand, a coin so common and mundane in appearance that it blends in with millions of others, yet under the right circumstances, that very coin could be one of the rarest and most valuable in the world. And that's exactly the allure of the 1994 D-penny, so let's explore what makes this small, seemingly insignificant coin potentially worth millions, starting with the fact that in 1994, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of pennies for circulation, all bearing the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, continuing a long tradition that started in 1959 to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday, and by all accounts, the 1994 D-cent should have been just another drop in the ocean of circulating currency. But what sets it apart are the rare but critical minting mistakes that occurred during the production process, whether through double striking, off-center strikes, die breaks, planchette errors, or most interestingly, errors related to the D. The mint mark. Some of these coins display what collectors call a repunched mint mark, where the D was stamped more than once slightly off alignment, creating a visible doubling effect, while others may exhibit a completely missing mint mark, even though they were clearly struck at the Denver Mint, leading to confusion and intense scrutiny among experts and grading services as they try to authenticate and categorize the error properly. And in the numismatic world, error coins like these are often prized for their uniqueness and rarity, particularly when the error was not caught early in the minting process and managed to escape into general circulation, adding a layer of mystique and hunt-like excitement for coin hunters, metal detectorists, and even average citizens sifting through rolls of pennies from the bank. Now, when it comes to the supposed $22 million valuation, this figure might sound exaggerated at first, but it is based on the potential for a unique, one-of-a-kind error specimen that has not only survived minting with an extreme error but also maintained exceptional condition, such as a mint state 67 or higher on the Sheldon grading scale. Combined with public interest, historical significance, rarity, auction demand, and collector competition, which all play a role in driving the price of a coin like this through the roof, particularly when you factor in how many of these errors could exist, possibly only one or two, and in some cases, even a single example of such a coin can cause a bidding war among elite collectors and institutions who want to secure a truly irreplaceable piece of numismatic history. And if such a coin also happens to have a die clash or transitional planchette issue, say a penny struck on a dime planchette, or a leftover bronze planchette from pre-year 1982, then its value increases exponentially due to the extreme rarity and complexity of the error. So collectors and experts are always on the lookout for anomalies such as broad strikes, clipped planchets, double dies, off-metal strikes, or coins that were struck multiple times, because these are often 1 in a billion occurrences that make the coin not just rare, but historically significant, especially when the error can be linked to a transitional period in U.S. mint operations or technological changes in die production or coin metal composition, and when such factors align, even a small cent can become the centerpiece of a world-class collection, making headlines and being featured in numismatic journals, auction catalogs, and even news reports. And in the case of the 1994 D-penny, reports and speculation from within the coin community suggest that one or more ultra-rare examples exist bearing multiple errors layered on top of each other, a repunched mint mark combined with a double die obverse and struck off-center, possibly on an experimental planchette, and these compound error coins are where values skyrocket because their uniqueness can never be replicated and their origin story becomes almost mythical, attracting international interest and speculation, especially when combined with high-quality preservation, original luster, and verifiable provenance. So if you ever come across a 1994 D-penny that looks just a little different, whether it has doubling in the date or lettering, or the mint mark looks abnormal, or if it's struck off-center or has a strange coloration or weight, don't dismiss it, because it could be the key to unlocking a life-changing fortune, especially if verified by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC, and authenticated with clear documentation and photographic evidence, which is crucial for any coin claiming to have an extreme error or historic value. And in the world of rare coin collecting, provenance is everything. Knowing where the coin came from, how it was discovered, and how it has been preserved over time adds a powerful narrative that collectors often pay premiums for, and the mystery surrounding this specific 1994 D-penny only adds fuel to the fire, creating buzz in online forums, YouTube videos, numismatic conventions, and auction houses where every expert has a theory and every collector dreams of finding the next big error coin in a pocket full of change. So, Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual enthusiast, the 1994 D penny teaches us that hidden treasures can still exist in plain sight, and with just a little patience, sharp observation, and knowledge about what to look for, like double dies, planchet errors, die breaks, mint mark anomalies, or even unusual coloration or composition, you too might be the one to discover a coin worth not just a few bucks, but potentially millions, because the US Mint, for all its advanced technology and quality control, is still run by human hands and machinery that can make rare and valuable mistakes, and it's these mistakes, these fleeting production anomalies, that offer collectors a tangible link to the unpredictable beauty of American coinage, reminding us that even a simple 1-cent piece can carry a story, a mystery, and a value that defies expectations, transforming it from common change into a legendary artifact sought after by collectors across the globe. So the next time you get change from the store or cash in a jar of coins, take a close look at those pennies, especially the ones from 1994 with a D mint mark. You might just find a fortune hiding in your pocket. Where we uncover the most amazing stories behind ordinary-looking coins that could be worth a fortune, and today, you're about to hear a mind-blowing story about one such coin that might be lying unnoticed in your change jar, the 2012 D United States 1-cent penny, a coin with a face value of just 1 cent. Yet one particular example of it has been valued at a staggering $38 million due to a series of unbelievable minting errors, die anomalies, and unique features that set it apart from billions of other pennies struck in the same year. So if you're a collector, enthusiast, or simply curious about how a tiny copper-colored coin can reach such an astronomical price tag, stay with us because you're in for an astonishing deep dive into the details that make this coin so legendary in the numismatic world. And while it might seem outrageous that a single penny could hold this much value, the story behind this 2012 D Lincoln cent is a mix of rare minting mistakes, elusive mint mark irregularities, and the tiny probability of everything aligning perfectly during its production process that it ended up being one of the rarest coins ever discovered in US coinage history. So let's get into what makes this coin so spectacular and why collectors and museums alike are prepared to pay millions of dollars to get their hands on it, starting with the fact that this penny was minted at the Denver Mint in 2012, a facility known for high-volume production and normally precise quality control. Yet somehow this particular coin slipped through all the cracks, starting with a highly visible and unmistakable misalignment of the obverse and reverse dies, which caused the designs to appear off-center, and not just slightly, but drastically off, leaving parts of Lincoln's bust missing or partially clipped from the coin's edge while simultaneously distorting the 1-cent text on the reverse, and such dramatic off-center strikes are rare on their own. But what catapulted this coin into legendary territory was that it also featured an extremely rare double strike, where the coin was struck more than once in the press, causing overlapping details of Lincoln's portrait, doubling in the date 2012, and even a faint ghost-like image of a second D mint mark slightly above and to the right of the original, giving the appearance of a misplaced or repunched mint mark, which in coin collecting terms is considered an RPM or repunched mint mark error, highly sought after in any denomination or year, but especially rare on recent pennies due to the US Mint's tightening of quality controls over the decades. And that wasn't all, because under high magnification, experts also discovered a unique planchet flaw, a kind of lamination error where a portion of the coin's outer metal layer appeared to have peeled slightly before striking, causing unusual texture on Lincoln's shoulder and disrupting the metal flow in a way that caused a ripple effect down the lower right portion of the coin's obverse, creating what some have described as a shockwave look that is not only highly distinctive but absolutely unreplicable, meaning that even among known error coins, no two will ever share this exact feature, and that uniqueness is what gets collectors and investors excited, because in the world of rare collectibles, especially coins, uniqueness equals value, and when we dig even deeper, we find that the reverse of this particular penny also holds incredible irregularities. There's doubling in the words United States of America as well as the Lincoln Memorial Shield, which replaced the Lincoln Memorial reverse starting in 2010, but in this era coin, the shield lines are blurred and doubled, possibly due to a misalignment in the die that struck the reverse, and in addition, the outer rim of the coin on both sides exhibits partial collaring, meaning it was not properly held in place during the strike, resulting in a coin that is slightly broader and flatter than a standard cent, a trait known as a broad strike, which again adds to the list of minting mishaps that collided in the creation of this once-in-a-lifetime piece. And yet, what sealed its astronomical value was a small but powerful detail, traces of what appeared to be an experimental composition in the coin's metal, something that raised eyebrows among experts. As standard 2012 pennies were composed primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating, but metallurgical tests on this coin revealed traces of tin and nickel in abnormal ratios, suggesting the possibility that it may have been struck on a leftover or test planchet not meant for circulation, and if that's true, it could mean that the coin was a transition error or test strike that was never meant to be released, making it even rarer than anyone initially thought. And once the coin was authenticated and graded by professional numismatic organizations, it received not only a high grade for preservation, despite its errors, the coin remained in excellent condition with minimal handling marks, but also one of the highest rarity classifications due to the convergence of multiple major minting errors, each of which on its own could make a coin highly desirable, but combined in a single penny create something truly historic. And when this coin first appeared at a major auction, the buzz in the collecting community was electric, with collectors speculating about its possible value, and when the bidding war erupted, it quickly surpassed expectations, breaking records until it finally hammered at $38 million to an anonymous private collector, making it the most expensive modern 1-cent coin ever sold. And what's even more exciting is the ripple effect it caused, prompting collectors around the world to examine their spare change, penny jars, and coin rolls for any signs of a 2012 D penny with similar features, leading to a renewed interest in error coins and the Lincoln Cent series in general. And while most 2012 D pennies remain worth only face value, the discovery of this unique error coin proves that exceptional mistakes still happen, even in modern minting facilities with advanced technology, and it goes to show that it's still possible today to stumble upon a coin worth millions hiding in plain sight. And now you might be wondering how to check your own 2012 D penny to see if you have a potential treasure. And the answer lies in closely examining the mint mark, the alignment of the design, any signs of doubling, metal peeling, unusual textures, or off-center strikes. And while chances are slim, the mere possibility of finding another penny like this has revitalized interest in coin collecting for beginners and experts alike. And this isn't the first time a modern penny has fetched high prices due to error combinations. But the $38 million 2012 D penny stands out because it represents a perfect storm of minting anomalies wrapped into one small coin, and its story serves as a testament to the enduring excitement of numismatics, a field where the tiniest details can translate into massive discoveries. So whether you're a seasoned coin hunter or someone who's never looked at their pocket change twice, maybe now is the time to pay a little more attention, because who knows, you just might be holding the next multi-million-dollar mistake in your hand. And if this story amazed you, don't forget to subscribe for more incredible coin discoveries and stories from the fascinating world of US currency collecting, where history, errors, and rarity collide to create value beyond imagination.